Oh my God, under personal comments, New York Knicks rule.
Yeah, the Knicks rule.
What's up, Knicks Nation? Welcome to the Buckets Weekly podcast. Today's show, David Fizdale, man, he stays winning. We're going to be looking at what he's been up to his first week as Knicks head coach. We're going to be looking at some of the coaches he's likely to bring in on his staff. We've got some tweet fire to go along with that. We're going to look at some of our players. Cantor, it's just getting awkward now with Cantor. Timmy Shimmy, he's on fire. He's doing good things. Our young rook, Frank Ntilikina. We're going to be taking a look at his off-season, what he's got planned, and some interesting points with Frank Ntilikina to do with the draft and his future with the team and where he might fit and things like that. So I don't like to talk about the draft too much before we know where we're going to pick. I think we've got like a 3% chance of being a top 3 pick, but most likely to be 8 or 9. And if you're speculating, you've got like 40 prospects to speculate about. So it's exhausting. So I wait until we know where we're picking, and then we can really get into what's going to happen in the draft. But some interesting key facts and points. I think it was Mark Berman of the New York Post had a lot to say on this upcoming draft and how that affects Ntilikina and a bit of his off-season as well. So we're going to look at that. We might take a look at the roster that we've got at the moment, contracts and things going on, and who can we expect to see back and things like that, because there's definitely going to be some juggling going on. Scott and Steve are going to be pretty busy. Some head scratching to do, I think. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. Don't forget, get in touch with the show. Email bucketsweekly@hotmail.com. The gram, Twitter, buckets_weekly. What else have we got? The blog. Hit the blog, bucketsweekly.com. Or any outlet that you hear this on. SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. Big one, iTunes. Everyone likes to rate and subscribe and things like that on iTunes. So go ahead and do that. You'll be doing me a solid. But let's get down to business. David Fizdale. The man is on fire, people. He just stays winning. This man, he says, it's like music to my ears hearing him speak. And we've been in this boat before. New regime in the Knicks. Lots of good things being said. The hype just gets unreal. Like when Derrick Rose came to the Knicks and whatever. And Joakim Noah was like hyping everyone up like crazy. And then we actually start playing basketball. But touch wood, this time's going to be different. David Fizdale, the things he's saying about the kind of players he wants to attract, what he's going to do with our current players, it's brilliant. He wants New York gritty, hard-nosed guys that want to shut down teams, defense first, young, athletic, everything just coincides with what management is saying as well. It's gorgeous. It's a masterpiece so far. So a little bit of business that he's got to take care of. Coaches, they like to bring in their own staff, so a few names floating around. I know that the Knicks got permission to talk to Keith Smart, who's an assistant coach in Memphis, who worked with David Fizdale. So likely gonna bring him on. Nick Van Exel. This would be a great addition. Nick Van Exel. Fizdale already pegged him as someone that he believes should already have a chance at a head coach in the league. So a great addition if we can get him. Worked together before. Great basketball mind, but he did throw out a tweet yesterday just saying it's all rumor, folks. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. What's going to come of this talk with Keith Smart, but we know we can expect some new faces. And we know that the kind of guy that Fizdale's going to want to work with is going to be someone we're going to like. So that's pretty much all there is on the coaches. We should expect... Well, I don't really know when we can expect to hear. I guess people like to get these things going quickly, but there's other teams involved in permissions and, that kind of boring stuff. But I would say this week or next week, this being Sunday. So that's pretty much all there is on that. Our players, Eric Cantor. Oh, man. Did I just say Eric Cantor? Man, this heat must be getting to me. Enes Kanter it's just getting awkward, man. He's gonna opt out. It's a closed case. He's gone. Well, probably gone. I doubt New York will give him a longer deal. I think it was the dentist. Yeah, the dentist. He'd done a post, like getting his wisdom teeth taken out, and he's like, "My teeth are a definite opt out. Wink, wink. Just stop toying with us, man. This is our basketball team, you know." So he's gonna opt out. We can lock that in right now. Whether or not Knicks bring him back, he said that he wants that, but I think this is just like fluff things that people say to make the process easier. So we might not be seeing Enes Kanter, which would be a huge loss to the team. I mean, imagine if we didn't get all of those second chance points last year. Man, how abysmal would the Knicks have been if after all those misses, other teams ran it up the court on us and scored on us easily. Just thinking, when Enes Kanter got an offensive rebound, just never got old. Every single time you were like, praise the Lord for that man. And he's an absolute tank. He's New York all over, so it'll be a huge loss to lose Enes Kanter. But it's looking like that might be the case, because teams are going to snap him up if he does opt out. And are the Knicks really going to compete with any kind of offer that he's likely to see? It remains to be seen. Carlo Quinn as well on the subject. Again, just stays quiet. He's enjoying the playoffs. He's just doing his thing. So we'll see what happens with him. Timmy Shimmy, Tim Hardaway Jr. He's hitting the gym already. I think it was Bar, our head athletics coach. Good follow on Instagram. Absolute beast. He's working out with Tim Hardaway. Hardaway's been in the gym with C. Brickley, getting work in. So it's looking like he's gonna come back good. He was pretty solid last year when he was healthy. So it's looking like he's gonna earn his money next year and silence quite a lot of people. But it's cool to see him, like one of our key guys on the team, just involved so early in the off season. Like he was chilling on the beach and now he's just going ham. So that's really cool to see. A big player in our team getting work in early. I mean, let's not forget about KP. KP puts in work every day. Just that's natural. But it's cool to see Tim Hardaway in his Space Jam jersey and his Michigan shorts. Just looking good out there. Frank Ntilikina. Hopefully Frank Ntilikina sees this, learns a little lesson from this. He is coming back to the US. He's been in France. He's done a little tour of France. He's been doing workouts with like head athletics people in Paris daily, I think. And he's got his jersey retired from his old team, Strasbourg. He only played there for 2 years and the kid's only like 20 years old. So, I mean, he's on fire over in France. Good for him. But he's coming back. It said, I don't know what source this is. Again, this is in the Mike Berman New York Post article, so I don't know who he spoke to. But 21st of May, Frank Ntilikina is coming back. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Frank Ntilikina's off-season. The kid has got so much to learn, or has learned it already. He just needs to put it into practice. When you hear David Fizdale talking about him and how he might be too unselfish and things like that, and you see toward the back end of last season when he was just starting to instinctively put the ball up instead of trying to find someone or kick it out or whatever, when the best option is just to float it up there, Frank. And he was doing that, and he was getting like his career game after career game, and it was looking good, but the season ended. So I can't wait to see him just work out. I want to see him get some runs in with Black Ops, and really get hungry to start next season and come in hungry to next season. But there was quite a lot of interesting points that Berman made in the article to do with where the Knicks draft and how that fits in with Frank Ntilikina and what they think of Frank Ntilikina. Steve Mills and Scott Perry, they've both said, well, mostly Perry, he's a draft man, but they've both said that they want to draft off of pure talent. So whatever position we draft, 7th, 8th, 9th, wherever, we will take the best talent at that spot in the draft. Whatever's still available, we'll take it. And then just use free agency and trades to help out the position you need, namely small forward with the Knicks. We need a small forward. Perry's also said that we want to acquire a young athletic wing in the draft, maybe. So people start talking about Mikal Bridges and throwing other names about, which would be perfect, which would be solid and likely to be available when we pick, if we're lucky. But again, if there's talent, I'm forgetting the boy's name now. He's got like thinning hair and is like best friends with Steph Curry. He's like projected to be a lottery, but if there's talent available at the point guard position, or like there's a 2-guard available, and that's the best talent, and that's who we take, then there's reflections on what management are thinking about Frank Ntilikina, because it was a tumultuous first season, mixed reviews. Again, took a little while to get into that attacking gear, but he, amongst other rookies, like he looked good, man. I'd say like De'Aaron Fox, who Perry drafted actually, is the same thing. They're really tight with Frank Ntilikina, but just takes them a little while to get going. And then when Fox realized he was quicker than absolutely everybody, then he was doing some amazing things, and he was having like sick putback dunks and stuff like that. And Frank was just putting up career numbers. So wherever they draft, it does reflect on what they think, or not necessarily what they think, but just what's going to happen with Frank Ntilikina. If they drafted someone at his position, I mean, Frank Ntilikina is long, and he defends, and you could probably put him on like 3 or 4 positions if you had to, particularly if you're going small as well, which we've done quite effectively last year. I don't know how often like Fizdale will want to do that, but I mean, if he wants to get up and down and go fast, we might see it quite a lot where Frank's really going to flourish in that kind of style of play. But yeah, it's just interesting to think. I mean, we got to keep Frank. He's on the books. He's dirt cheap. The potential with this guy, I remember before he was drafted, like the first kind of thing that I read about him was someone like close to him, a scout, compared him to the Greek Freak in terms of potential. So coming into the league, he's super long, super athletic. Once he gets comfortable with the jumper and things like that, the same with the Greek Freak actually, then that is a really good comparison to have. And to let that go just because you're drafting talent which hasn't had a year in the league would be huge. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we get the wing that we're looking for in Frank. I mean, if you take a look at the books this year, we've got Trey Burke on an option, which you hope the Knicks will pick up. And Ron Baker, he's got like the $5 million. Like, he was getting more than Derrick Rose. That was crazy. And you know he's going to pick that up. But similar to center, there's a little bit of a jam in terms of guards. I got Hardaway. Dotson looked really good toward the end of last season. So they need to make a move at that position, really. They need a small forward, sure. But, I mean, it does all come down to the draft and who they draft and where that fits. They might just trade it away. I mean, anything can happen. But I just wanted to mention that, I mean, there's speculation that because obviously Frank had a tumultuous season and Mark Berman is like Mr. Pessimist, that he's going to go. And whatever the Knicks do in the draft, if it affects Ntilikina, it's going to be viewed as what management think about Ntilikina. But I don't think that's right. But the man, he's been on fire in France. He's got a new makeover, looks swaggy as hell. I want to see him back next year. Yeah, so Frank's coming back 21st of May. He's going to meet Fizz. Fizz can't wait to meet him. Wants to get his hands on him. His body's still going through puberty, so he just can't wait to really mold him into the best player he can be. Those are Fizz's words. But yeah, so he's coming back 21st. Can't wait to see what Fizz makes of the guy and what Frank makes of Fizz. And hopefully get some runs in Black Ops. Now, what I really, really liked was Frank Ntilikina is going to play in Vegas Summer League. The number 7 pick overall, or number 8, wherever it was last year. God, so many picks going on. He's going to play in Las Vegas Summer League, and I'm telling you, nothing could be better for the kid. Humble yourself. You had an up and down season. Get back to the US, work out, meet your coach, go do Summer League, go through the motions, and get better. I think it's absolutely great that he's already booked in to play Summer League. There's no speculation or anything like that. He wasn't able to play last year. That probably would have really helped him. I think was it a bad hammy he had or something like that? But yeah, it's really great to see that he's going to be in Summer League. So props to my man Frank on that one. Let's just go over. Stefan Bondi had a great tweet, just listing who the Knicks have under contract next season. Because there's going to be shuffling going on. There's going to be some movement. But I just wanted to take a sec, go over it, and see from what we've got right now to build on. If everything stayed the same almost. Who do we want back? This was a big question. I think I posted 2 days ago a picture of Joakim Noah in his glorious beard. Shout out Knicks Beard Gang. And I just said, is he going to be suiting up for us next year? And I put a poll on there, and it was pretty much nope. But I got a lot of people. Shout out to everyone that messaged off of that story and just had a lot to say about Joakim Noah. So let's just get into it. Under contract next season, Dotson. Absolutely want to keep Dotson. Cheap. Really fit what Fizdale's doing. And yeah, I'm excited about this kid. Looking at the end of last season when he was getting some serious burn. You want to see him back next year. Hardaway Jr., absolutely, obviously, already in the gym. Courtney Lee always seems to be on the trading block. He's already said recently that every year, it happens every year with him, and he's deaf to it by now. But Courtney Lee, I'd like to see Courtney Lee back. I've said before on the podcast, playing against Courtney Lee, when he was in Charlotte and things, it was just so frustrating, and it's good to have that on our team now. It's good to make friends with the enemy, Emmanuel Mudiay, again, this might be another one which is pretty dependent on the draft. Management weren't that keen on how Ntilikina was getting into the paint and executing, so they traded for Mudiay, or signed Mudiay, sorry. But again, with the draft, with all the talks about Frank Ntilikina, that could affect Mudiay, depending on who the Knicks draft. Ntilikina, yeah, absolutely come back, ball out for us. Porzingis, I really hope he plays next year, but you're definitely keeping him. Player option, hopefully give it to him next year. So we've got that cap in 2019. LT, Lance Thomas, the captain. Definitely keep. I put a post on the gram the other day because Fizdale said that he likens Lance Thomas to Draymond Green. And I thought that was wicked because Lance Thomas is a glue guy. He's an absolute legend. And what he does on the court, it can't be reflected or measured very easily at all. You just have to watch the guy play. He does little things on the defense, like just sticking with a player or just shutting out a zone or coming off of a pick or just following someone, or it make a huge difference to the play and how the play develops and how we get a stop. For Coach Fizz to say that he sees Draymond Green in Lance Thomas, and he wants Lance Thomas, who's an excellent defender, always shuts down the best player on the other team. LeBron always has a hard time against him. For our coach to say he wants him to go chase first team all defense, defensive player of the year type mindset. He said that about KP as well. Fair play. But for him to say that, I absolutely agree with. I'm a little bit biased because Lance Thomas is my favorite Knick. Always has been. I'm glad he's the longest tenured Knick. And I really, really hope he's back. He's under contract. Don't get rid of Lance Thomas. He's coming back for sure. Joakim Noah. Joakim. Let's just skip that. I'm done with Joakim. Player options, Cantor, he's gonna go. O'Quinn probably gonna opt out Knicks might bring him back. They've expressed it. They're open to doing what needs to be done to get O'Quinn back. Ron Baker, he's taking that option, man. Oh man, he is making bank. He's currently in Kansas, rehabbing that shoulder. Got a nice little new truck. Living that off-season life. Looking like old school as hell. Ron Baker just looks like a player from this. I want to see him in like short shorts next year, if he's back next year. We got a lot of guards. Unless Ron Baker comes out early next season and just balls out, it makes a huge difference. Kind of like a TJ McConnell in the Sixers, just a hustle guy and just earns his spot. If he does that, I'm cool. I mean, I was cool with Baker when he was doing that before he got injured the last 2 years. But if he doesn't, he's got to go by the trade deadline, man. Because it's not going to work out with the player, with the roster, just everything. But yeah, Ron Burgundy, I hope he stays too. Trey Burke, he's on a team option. You like the team to take that. Same with Troy Williams. Again, fits the mold of what everyone's preaching about: young, athletic, up and down, fast, defense. Preaching defense like crazy. The boy's New York all over. He's just got the wires taken out of his jaw, and he's ready. Like, he's just asking everybody, like, where are the hoops in New York? Let's go. So you really hope he comes back. Michael Beasley, a free agent. Bring Beasley back, man. Don't let Beasley go. If you think about it, Michael Beasley this year or last season, he meant a lot to the Knicks. Not only when KP was healthy and he was off the bench and he was having huge games off the bench and he just tore apart the Celtics and he was strapped in, but when KP went down and everything was asked of Beasley, he done all that was asked of him. Yeah, he might take a play off or just get a bit sloppy with it every now and again, but you live with that. You absolutely live with that for what he gives you day in, day out. On the floor, off the floor. Keep the guy. Sign Beasley. Wrap him up ASAP. Jarrett Jack, oh man, what a soldier. I just wish we could sign him as an assistant coach. Can Fizz do that? I mean, the guy needs to be on the Knicks, but we gotta let him walk as a free agent. We got too many point guards. And when he was playing, he was amazing, and when he wasn't playing, he was even more amazing. But yeah, we're just stacked at point. And again, it's another one. The draft has a chain reaction wherever we draft. But I mean, I'd love to see Jarrett Jack back on the Knicks. One of my favorite point guards that we've had in a while. But yeah, it's looking like Jarrett Jack might not be back. Restricted free agents are two ways: Cornet, Isaiah Hicks. Cornet, you got to bring back. That's the future of the NBA right there. I don't mean Cornet himself per se, but the style of play. He's got balls, man. I mean, he just chucks up threes if he's ice cold. He doesn't care what anyone says. He's just letting it go. And toward the end of the season as well, he was getting a lot more comfortable with footwork and things on defense, and that was paying dividend. Just getting minutes and getting reps in with the team. And if you think about it, these two ways, our development system is incredible now. Our horizontal development system. But that's tough on a player. I mean, they're an amazing idea, the contracts, but to be 14 days in the NBA and you don't know where or when, and traveling around the D-League, having days where you're doing both in one day, you're training with different people, you're hearing different coach voices and whatever, that's got to be harder than it would seem. But Cornet, he balled out every time he had to. Tore up the Raptors, which was funny. Isaiah Hicks, again, huge potential with this kid, but there's about 17 players that I've said I want to see back this year, so when someone's got to get cut, Isaiah Hicks, unfortunately. He'll just get picked up by someone else and ball out as a 15th man somewhere. And I'll regret even mentioning his name in this list, but yeah, that's our roster. Hopefully the bulk of the guys come back. We don't know what's going to happen with Joakim. You guys don't think he's going to be suiting up for us next year. I don't, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens with that. And that's pretty much it for this week's podcast. Quiet week, mainly just Fizdale in his first week as head coach. He's absolutely on fire, like I said. Just YouTube the man, watch everything. He's been on all the chat shows in New York. He just preaches absolute gold. So YouTube him, watch that, listen to all the radio interviews. They're really, really good. Great insight into the man. He hasn't got social media, but his wife, I can't remember her name now, but she's a good follow because she just follows him around. And it's a great insight into our coach, his day-to-day life, like seeing him go to the Yankees backstage and like meet Spike Lee and stuff. That was wicked. So yeah, that'll do. That'll do for this week. It's a gorgeous day. I'm going to go back outside, lap up the sun. But I can't let the Buckets Weekly faithful down with the podcasts. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this show. It was a slow one today, a slow burn. Comment wherever you're listening to this. Comment, rate, subscribe. Go follow the page, Buckets_Weekly on the gram. That's like the hub of all of this. That's the nerve center. That's the mothership. So go do that. Get in touch on there. DM on Twitter. Email bucketsweekly@hotmail.com. What else we got? The blog. Hit up the blog. That is fancy as hell. And yeah, we'll do it all again next week. Peace!